2, episode 63.
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie on Ravelry and Penny Winnie 2 on other places.
Just a reminder, we are having Show Your Strands Off Knit Along till the end of June, which doesn't seem to be a very popular knit along.
Well, it's color work, you know. We thought we'd try to get people to broaden their horizons.
I know. We'll have to think about a nice light one for the summer. Something airy.
Lacy.
Lacy
Did we
shawls.
do lace?
I don't know. Did we do shawl?
We did neck.
Neck. Okay.
We could do
we'll
lace.
Figure something out. Yeah, we can do lace. Lace and socks. Lace and...
Lace can be on a ton of stuff.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I want to say thank you to everyone who's put their 2 cents in for the homework debate.
Yeah.
Since I mentioned it, it really hasn't been an issue, and it has a lot to do with the fact that Cam's not home.
Oh yeah, so he can't.
No, he can't. No, lately he's been working late, and I think tonight he works extra late because it's the end of the month. But I do try and get my boys to do a little extra homework. Zachary needs a little help. Right now, we're focusing on how to alphabetize, because that's a tough thing. Heck, I know some adults that can't even do it right.
Yeah. I have to sing the alphabet song when I alphabetize.
Well, you know what I showed Zachary to do is write it out, and that helps him a lot. Same with the number line. He needs to write out numbers so that he can
know them,
subtract and add. It's tough for an 8-year-old who's a little slow on the uptake. But so I want to thank everybody for their input on that. And reading is a big thing. We are big readers in this household, so I think we'll be fine.
Well, and I wanted to say, after I ranted about how horrible the high school is, apparently U.S. U.S. report, they did it. We're one of the top 1,000 high schools in the United States based on our statistics.
I wonder where we rank.
Jim and I are like, okay.
I don't think we rank very high. Mostly because our high school is outdated.
Yeah.
And we are getting a new one.
A part of it did take into account that, they're trying to get an iPad to every kid for school use.
Oh, wow.
Somebody donated it in our town, so. But it also factors in GPAs, overall GPAs of the body student, how many kids go to college, what level of college they go to, that kind of stuff. So we're pleased considering that it has been since 2001 that we've been on the warning list. I thought it was only 3 years. It's been since 2001.
Yeah, because when you were saying that, I was talking to a neighbor of mine who's a teacher in the Lynn area, which, if anyone knows the Boston area, Lynn is not the nicest
Lynn, city of sin.
Never go out the way he came in. He's a tech teacher, so that's even worse.
Yeah.
They are on a 3-year probation, and I guess you can lose your accreditation if you're not.
We were going to. Big part of ours was that we had no standardized curriculum, which we do have now.
Oh, okay.
The other part is we have some physical plant issues that, of course, they spent millions of dollars on the new playing fields, but didn't fix the physical plant issues. So I don't know what's going on with that, but apparently we're in the top 1,000. I think we're number 800 in the country.
It's not bad. Hey?
For whatever
Whatever
that's worth.
Could be number 1,000, I suppose.
Could be number 12,000.
True.
All right, so let's get started. I think
it's your week.
It is my week.
I think so.
Okay, so let me look at my notes.
Wendy's using my iPad for a note. She forgot.
I know. I printed them out, but I forgot to put them in my bag.
And we're recording on another day. That was my fault. It's
my fault, too, because my kids had a half day.
Well, I had my husband and I do surveys for this person, and it's usually through Shawlette, which is a nice survey. And they called me up on the fly the other day, and how can I say no to some money? Basically what it comes down to.
It's money. Money in your pocket.
Money in my pocket, money that we desperately need.
All right, so Creature Comforts cardigan. I didn't even bother to bring it because I didn't knit on it, but I did want to say that I got a PM from viewer Knit Sister, who told me that she had knit it, and she was really disappointed because it slides down off her shoulders, and that I know that a lot of people have had that problem. She said she had read afterwards a lot of people had that issue with it, and she thought maybe if I was not too far up on it, I should try putting some shoulder shaping in, which I'm thinking might be a good idea. So I'm going to try to work that out. Thank you so much for giving me that idea. I was just going to hope it fit. But I might actually, if I have enough yarn, I'm kind of worried about the yardage. So if I have enough yarn, I might actually do a little shoulder shaping, make it a little more shawl shaped on just put a little extra there so it doesn't fall down. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's on the back burner because I've been working on In the Pink. Let me just finish this up. In the Pink by Izzy Knits, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I'm doing it in the shadow colorway of Zoberball, which has long color changes. And I'm on the edging. Yeah, it's coming out. I had a little problem with the edging. If you were on Virtual Knit Night on Sunday, you would know that I had to rip out the entire edging because it did not come out right. Something was wrong. And then I read, and I guess I just had to let it go. It's still not right.
So what do? Knit the edge on the side?
Well, so this is what happens. I don't want it to fall off the needles. So it's all put together now. That's the center whirl. This is the side that I've knit. And I had to do, this edging was knit across like that, and then I'm now applying this edging the long way. So you can see it'll go into this. I'm almost to the center medallion.
Yeah, it looks nice.
So I'm almost, right here is where the center medallion starts. This is the center medallion. And then the other side goes like this. So apparently there are 85 of these points that I have to knit. 2, 3, 15, 16. I've knit 31 points. So it's going really fast now that I'm on this. This edging, I don't know. I'm just going to say it. If you're a novice knitter or a new knitter and you want to take this project on, I don't think that there are necessarily things wrong in the instructions, but I think it's a free pattern. I think they may have been written in such a way that the person who wrote it understands what she's trying to say, but that other people might not think the same way. Because I had a really hard time figuring out a couple of the instructions. I had to fudge a few places. I know a lot of other people did. I mean, I'm absolutely loving how this is all like crazy coming out, but I don't know if I would knit it again. But this is mindless. Like, I've just been cranking out the edging. I started the edging yesterday afternoon, and I've already done
good.
I'm almost halfway.
So what was the part of the edging that you had to rip back? The center
okay, so after you put together the 3 medallions, so you can see the center medallion, and you had to attach it, you can see where I graft. You have to do a lot of grafting.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
I had to graft here.
I like it.
And then, and then you knit in these little triangle things, and then you knit across the whole length, and you do like 4 rows of this like holy stuff, and it's supposed to match up. And it did match up here. You can see that it did match up here.
Okay.
But it didn't match up.
On the other one?
It didn't really match up here. And I didn't really understand how it was supposed to be. And it didn't match up here that well either. So I don't see how it would have. And one of the rows said to knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, like something like that. Do that 5 times, and it would have come out to 25 stitches, but there's like 325 stitches on here. So I think I was supposed to do it all the way across, which is what I did, but that's not what the directions said, so who knows? Like, I don't even know. But it's not like it's a major feature of the shawl, so I'm just not, I decided to just let it go. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I like the way that it looks like a galaxy. And it's going to be huge. My friend Diane finished hers, and I saw it on Monday. And it's gorgeous. It's different. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's mindless now. I'll just crank it out. Hopefully you'll see this done next week. So that's In the Pink. And then the other thing I have on the needles is new. And this is, oops.
Just your yarn. Didn't go anywhere.
Oh, it didn't? I thought it went off the back of the chair.
No, it just
This is my Loud and Proud socks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm knitting plain old toe up. Did a little slip stitching at the color transition there. You can kind of see, playing around with it to see. I did random. I don't know. I'm going to try different ones on everything. Just to make it a little interesting without making it too crazy. I'm about to do the short row heel. And I'll show you this later, but I am knitting it out of Play at Life on Etsy. Play at Life Fiber Arts Rainbow Saki Maki, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards. And even though I don't feel this, I love this base. I am really enjoying knitting with this base. This is not a normal sock yarn that I would go for. I bought it because I like the color so much, but I just love how it's knitting up. It's
I love the blue.
So
it's absolutely gorgeous.
And I just think it feels so chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is nice. It's her boundless
nice, dense,
base.
Dense fabric.
Yeah. And it's like, I think it would have really good stitch definition because this is a very, I don't know if you can see it. It's a very tightly twist. It has really good twist. I don't know. I really like it. So there you go. I'm going to play around. I might make some longer. I might pull up that stitch longer on the next row and see how that looks. I just trying to figure out something more interesting to do since this is just, it's just giant stripes. And I'm going to knit until I run out of yarn. So they might be like knee-high.
Are you doing an afterthought heel or are you doing a short?
I'm doing a short row heel. It's just afterthought heel.
No,
it won't match, so I'm just going to do the short row heel.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, afterthought heel, which I don't really like doing. But I was like, and then I thought, oh, no, that won't work. So, yeah, unless I did it with the pink, but I don't know. I kind of just want to knit until it's all the colors.
It's pretty.
So I'm enjoying that. Yeah, that's fun. And this is her business card. I guess it goes like this.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'm a little bit in trouble today. So yeah, I cast that on. That's my walking around knitting. This is actually the knitting I was doing at the at my physical therapy on Tuesday. Where everyone was like, she's knitting and riding her bike. How can she do that? It's like, it's not hard. So yeah, that's all I have on the needles right now.
All right, my on the needles is my Ruby Slipper Shawl by Wendy. It's coming along really good. Talk about a mindless knit. I've been doing this while I read. So the only time I have to think about it is when I get to that section just to make sure I'm in the right location. So I'm doing this out of the Blue Moon Fiber Arts.
Princess.
February. No, what month are we? Is it odds or evens? Evens. Okay. February Sock Club. It's the Her Royal Highness Princess Violetta. And
or as I call it, Princess Purple.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming out great.
Yeah, it is coming out really good. That is not the color that it shows.
No, it's much more blue than that. It's not as pink.
Let's see. That's the color.
That's much more the color.
It's a true purple. And I have 16 points on the straight. I have 22 straight points that I have to go before I start the decrease. There should be really no reason why this isn't done next week because it's my mindless knitting. It's really nice.
One of my test knitters finished, and she actually gave me a correction on the end of the shawl, so I better tell you what that is. Don't let me forget.
This is what it's. This is as wide as it's gonna be.
Yeah. That might be a little wider when you block it.
Oh, I'm sure it will because I tend to block mine. Yeah, it'll probably be something like this.
Yeah.
I tend to block mine severe, but it will be a nice thick wrap, and it's so soft and squishy. And really, when this comes out, gotta get it out soon. It's just one of those mindless knits. I think hopefully it's like the hitchhiker where you just want to go and go and go, and before you know it, you have points done. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm already done with another point.
It goes so quickly.
It really does.
And there's no curling.
I have to honestly be. I have to be honest because I was a little afraid that it would be another Saroyan style for me, but
I told you it wouldn't be.
But the pattern itself is just.
You can memorize it.
You can memorize it. I'm like at first I'm like no you can't. Now I see the pattern that it follows.
Yes, now you see, and there's all I remembered was 6 5 4 3 2 1.
Yeah.
6 5 4 3 2 1. That's how I remembered it. So
and that I'm doing on size 4 needles. There was a question on
Roxanne.
that size 5 based on her availability. But no, I tried it on size 5 because I'm a tight knitter, but I'm a tight knitter in the round, not back and forth. So I am doing it on size 4. It's Addie's lace needles, and I'm doing it on a long one because that's all I have. I know I have shorter ones somewhere, but I have no idea where they are. Probably in a project somewhere that I forgot about. So I really enjoy it.
Good,
it's all nice and soft and squishy, and I love blue.
It took me long enough to work it out.
So that is my mindless knitting. I have worked a little bit more on the French press slippers. I have a complaint about it.
Oh.
Not the not them themselves, I guess, but so I finished the soles. So this is the toe.
Yeah.
Comes down towards your arch, and then this is the heel.
Yeah.
So I finished 2 of them, or 1 of each. It goes quick, but it's not something you can just knit and forget about. You are actually looking at every row.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was going to work on these last night while I was at work, and then it says to place a marker at the end of the row.
Yeah.
I didn't have the right marker because it's a removable marker.
Right.
You're actually placing it on the yarn. This is on the, I started the side.
You didn't have any paper clips?
Not at my office. Are you kidding?
Well, I thought all offices had paper clips, so no, I wasn't kidding. But
we barely have pens half the time. I usually bring my own. But then again, this place, it's an answering service. We have about 25 people in and out using 6 terminals.
Yeah.
I wipe down my computer terminal when I work because you can just give me the skeevies just because I don't want Zachary to catch anything. So this is the side. So you're supposed to place a marker at the end of this row, knit some, and then place a marker. Now I looked at the pattern that I'm doing. This is the French press slipper by Melinda Bernardi. And it said place marker at the end of row. So I went back. I have a couple of complaints about this. It says make one. It doesn't tell you which make one to make one, which is fine. I could care less. I know many. But usually they tell you which one specifically, especially when it starts. Yeah.
Of course, it's felted, so she probably didn't feel the need to specify.
Yeah, I know, but she's having you make one in the purl row, make one in the knit row.
Would have been nice to have a guide that told you
knit
how
through
to
them
make
back.
one.
Yeah. So then I go down to my notions because, I'm like, oh, I didn't know I needed markers. 2 matching buttons, tapestry needle, darning needle, pillowcase for felting. Nowhere does it say stitch marker.
So you didn't realize.
No, so I wasn't prepared for it. So that's just my 2 complaints. And then I'm reading. The other thing I think I would have mentioned too is why you might need the place marker.
Right.
Place marker at end of row for seaming later, maybe. And I had to read through more, and that's exactly what it is. It says seam together the front toe until you reach the marker. Yeah. Fine, but I was ill prepared, so I didn't work on those. But I have to make two sides one way and then 2 sides another way. So, and I was using my bamboo needles.
Yeah.
I went and bought Chaigu size 15 needles. So, Tara, that was the reason why I was calling. I didn't leave a message. I was out somewhere and I wanted to go to Hub Mills.
Yeah.
But didn't know the exact address or what exit. So I called Tara. She didn't pick up because she's working.
Yeah.
And she called me back saying that she missed my call. But that's why I called you, to find out this. I like these so far. I'm so glad that I changed to the metal ones, Chaigu, and I will use these again for felting more slippers.
Yeah.
Not necessarily French press. There is a reason why I didn't knit these twice.
And now you know.
And now I know. They'll probably look gorgeous when they're done.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
And why am I always picking projects that...
I don't know. I do not know.
My mail just came. I'm tempted to go look. But
oh, could it be the day?
I don't know. I only got the notice the other day, so.
Oh.
So that's all I have on my needles.
Let's see.
Rate your date.
Rate my date. I know that I have no dates to rate, but let's just, my notes say nothing. I have nothing to rate.
I've got nothing this week. Hopefully next week.
Wow,
I just
slow
finished
week.
my monkey last week.
I know.
I was hoping for this week, but I will honestly admit I worked Saturday and Sunday over the weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't knit a damn thing.
Wow.
I read. And what was I reading? I think what happened is because we were on our trip, I knit on this so much that I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
If I had another mindless knit, I probably would have knit on it.
Yeah.
But, which I think I have to start a sock. Just saying.
Yeah, I needed a something because this is now more portable, but it's, it's kind of like...
It hangs.
When I was putting it together, it was on three different circulars, and I had one double point, and then I was knitting with the double point. It was really, putting it together, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So Whirlwind Romance, I have one.
Yay.
Because I am able to spin again. I finally got that Into the Whirled Color Silk off of my wheel.
Pretty.
Yeah, I thought I got 800 yards. I got 702 yards. It is pretty much mostly a sport weight. Hey, heavy fingering.
Oh, excuse me.
So there's this one and this one. But it's close enough yardage that I think I'm going to knit the pattern that Kimberly Gintar sent us most recently, and I can't remember what it's called. You can kind of see.
Probably have it written down.
Looks better back here. It's got hyacinth blue, dark blue, like a green, a dark green. It's really pretty. And it's in two skeins because
Judy B.
Judy B. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to knit a Judy B out of it using the weight, which I don't know how accurate that's gonna be on this yarn because it's not entirely consistent. Although it's much more consistent on the one that I spun on my woolly winder. I also had to use two different whirls to ply it because my fast whirl, it has never fit on my wheel, and it finally just was so tight that we couldn't get it off without using a tool. So I have another one on the way to me from the Woolery.
How come it didn't fit on your wheel? Is that?
It's a defect with the thing. I mean, I can talk to my dealer about it, but I was too impatient, so I just ordered another one. It fits. It's not as bad on my regular flyer, so I could still use it for that flyer, which would be handy because then I wouldn't have to bother to take it off. So it's not like it's unusable, and I just hate to bother over that. I don't know why. The bobbin that broke, I was like all up in arms about, but the flyer, I'm like, the whirl, I mean. So yeah, that's my thing. I'll probably start knitting that soon. It's a side-to-side shawl, and I think it'll show off the striping. This was two plied together. One of them was the colored one with the striping, and the other one was a semi-solid. So the resulting yarn will have it'll look heathered, and it will have, the colors will change.
Okay.
In a striping. So I think that'll look really pretty on something like that. And since I have like 700 yards, I think her pattern calls for 750.
50, I think so.
So I'll just make it a little bit shorter. It's a big shawl. I'm sure taking a few inches off of it, or maybe making it a little narrower, I'm sure I can get out. So yeah, I'm glad that's done and off the wheel. So that was all that I have for my Whirlwind Romance.
Future dates.
Oh, I have my loop bat on the wheel, but I didn't bother to bring it because I am doing it. I like it to be center pulled. I'm one of the center pull people. I'm not having a problem with it. Sorry, Melissa and Diane. They hate the center. I like the center pull. I didn't bring it to show you because I'm doing the black part, and it's just, black. Nothing to see here. So yeah. All right.
Black is black.
Future dates. I'm still working on my secret knitting, and I have one person who's potentially going to test my secret knitting, so that's good. And the other thing, I'm going to do the color affection shawl, and I think Sheila's going to talk about this too. But we're going to cast it on June 1st.
Somewhere around
We're
there.
knitting along with Melissa.
June 1st is tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, just making
We're
sure.
knitting along with Melissa from his and her podcast.
And Micro Knitter MJ.
And Micro Knitter MJ. And so if you want to knit along with us, I'll do a thread. If you're doing color affection, or you're already working on it, or whatever.
It's an impromptu knit along. Don't feel that you need to do it by any means. It is a paper pattern.
Yeah.
And so
I don't think we're gonna do a. Are we doing
no,
a prize?
it's an
We're just
informal...
doing it if you want to support while you knit it, or if you just want to show.
Yeah, because
I hate doing a thing where it's a paid pattern.
I started thinking about it, and I knew exactly what yarns I wanted to use, and I'm a little bit of an Indian giver. Because I asked Wendy if I could have something. So a friend of a viewer, Nancy
Knick-knack and VA.
I was having a hard time reading it. Had given us skeins of pashmina, and these are the colors.
And she had said that Sheila could give one to me, so she did.
She picked the green one. Well, she's willing nicely to give it back. I have issues with when I do more than one color yarn.
She likes to have it all be the same base.
I do. It has to. Now I have probably yarn that's very similar to this, but maybe not. I didn't realize that was in there.
What?
Silk.
Oh, it's not the same base.
These three are.
Oh.
But the one I was thinking, I thought it was just cashmere, but it's not. It's got some silk into it. So I'm going to do these three colors. I think I'm going to do the gray as the main color. And then gray and I think maybe it goes one color, then two colors, and then all three colors. I think I'm going to do gray, pink, and then the three like this. If you think maybe a different colorway would be better, maybe gray this and then pink, maybe I'll do it that way. Let me know.
I don't know. I went on the project page and I looked, and I think I have I have like pale gray, blue and gray, and then dark gray. And I think I'm going to do it in that order, with the pale gray being the one that starts with the plain part and then goes all the way
I noticed
through.
a lot of people do light to dark, where it's kind of hard to,
because these are the same level of intensity.
Right,
so
that's why I wasn't sure.
I would do it, if it was me, I would do it this way.
Well, I'm thinking I'm leaning that way because at the very end you would do the last color, which I think red would look prettier than the green. But my concern towards the three colors is that it would look Christmassy. But I don't think it's the Christmassy
too pink
colors.
to look Christmassy.
So these are my colors that I'm going to do. And what got me into thinking it is when we met up with Melissa at the MA Sheep Woolcraft. She was looking for colors. And
Melissa, who inadvertently dissed my choice of yarn for the Color Affection shawl. I don't think you realize it, but you totally dissed my choice.
Oh, cha-ching. The reason why I think I'm going to cast on for this is because, again, it's another mindless. It's just garter stitch. And then you just, change colors.
Yeah.
And what could be more mindless?
I think that's a good travel project until it gets really big.
Oh, it's good for reading, too.
Yeah, no, Melissa, she actually didn't diss my color choices. She just dissed my base choice by saying, I think what she was trying to say is that she could have used her own yarn, and her own that she does.
Is similar to the base that you have.
It's similar to the base that I'm using, so she was saying, I think I can do, better by finding another fancier base. Like, she got some cashmere blend. But I was like...
Well, this shawl is going to be a large shawl, and the other thing I've come to realize is I have some nice yarns that I just for some reason don't want to knit with because I tend to give my stuff away. But if I knit with the nice yarns, I am not going to give it away.
And I knew that I liked that pashmina. I wasn't married to it. I didn't see it in my mind for a project, and I know it's going to be so long before I get to it. I'm like, she can just have it for that.
Well, and when I thought of the Color Affection shawl, I thought of those three colors instantly.
But I offered it to you.
She didn't ask
me for it. No, I said, do you want my pashmina back? Because I'm not going to use it for...
And I appreciate
forever. Yeah, I didn't mind. I have enough yarn of my own.
So the question is whether to start on the Color Affection shawl or that high-speed knitting. And I have a feeling
you have
the
to do Color Affection. We're
doing
a knit-along. Come on.
Yeah, I'll do the high-speed.
This is not going to be another knit-along where I start the project and you pretend to start the project, and then you're like, rip.
Well, I am
and then I'm stuck with the project.
No.
Knitting along by myself.
No, the
becomes a knit alone. I'm still bitter over that.
Yeah, well, you know what? That citron was just...
It was
bad
horrible to knit. I finished it.
I am
like
so surprised. It had
me. Once I get started, it's really hard for me to stop.
It had a lot to do with the yarn choice too, and because a lot of people have knit citron since that are gorgeous, But I'm like, yeah, no.
I'm not a fan of Malabrigo lace. It's a single ply lace.
Yeah.
I don't like knitting with single
it's
ply.
very soft, but not very nice.
This is a single ply. I'm not a fan of knitting with this either.
Yes, I think I'm going to stick with the Color Affection because if I do that high-speed knitting with my Zobra ball.
See? Yeah, you need to do that. Plus, I don't want it to be another knit alone. At least I have Melissa and MJ to knit with me, and it won't be a knit alone.
It starts June 1st, supposedly, unofficially. I will finish this before I start, so mine may not start for a couple days.
Yeah, I mean, I'll cast mine on whenever. But I'm definitely knitting it with them this month. And I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that Creature Comforts cardigan. If I'm going to make a mod to it, I have to think about it.
The Color Affection shawl is by Vera Valimaki.
Yeah, $5 on Ravelry. Mine was kindly gifted to me by Dawn's Knits for my birthday. So thank you. I appreciate it.
We're going to crushes and heartbreaks.
My crush is spinning. I can spin again.
Yay.
As long as I do it my leg a certain way. And so I have been back in the spinning. It just makes me happy. This means that when I'm exhausted and can't pay attention to knitting at night, instead of vegetating on the couch, I am spinning. So I'm very happy about that. That is my crush. And also I had a great time at MA Sheep Wool. And I'm going to put pictures of the day on the post with this show again.
Okay. So I have a couple of crushes, a couple of heartbreaks. Max, my oldest, had his chorus concert. And I was sitting there like a proud mom. He was singing so sweetly.
Yeah.
And I had a grin from ear to ear. And it's just so nice. I mean, I know not all kids sing nicely. And as a matter of fact, when Max is singing on his own, he doesn't sing very nicely. He yells more than sings. He doesn't know how to control it. But when they're all put together, and then they do harmony, the girls would sing one section, the boys would sing, kind of like the row, row, row your boat type of thing. The girls would sing one line.
Rounds. Yeah. It's called round singing, I think.
And the one thing I will say is what kind of upset me is the leads. There were 2 solos that were girls, and then there was a dance section that were all girls. And I'm like, wait a minute. So then I asked my son, and he goes, well, none of the boys wanted to dance.
I was going to say, I'm sure it was because
I figured as much. But what made me feel good is that some of the boys did try out for the solo, and they just didn't make it. Because they were singing some more recent things. It was a jazz-inspired, and so the solos were, If You Ain't Got That Swing.
Oh, right.
And so that was nice. And then a heartbreak, I had an issue with a coworker of mine works at the lunch area. And Zachary had, I can't even say Zachary had an issue because he didn't even know about it. He has
no idea anything happened.
But he has had issues where the boys' table, the 2nd grade, boys don't want to sit with girls typically. And I guess Zachary does sit with the girls sometimes, but lately he hasn't wanted to, and the boys have been giving him a hard time. And yesterday was an issue where a little boy picked up his lunch bag and put it on a separate table.
You forgot to say that there's not enough room for all the boys to sit
Well, I didn't
at the
know
table.
this at the time when I was hearing the story. A little boy picked up his lunch bag and put it someplace else, and my friend who's the lunch lady yelled because she kind of protects Zachary. You know, he's one of those type of kids. So he put it back, and then when Zachary came back to sit down, Zachary had stepped aside and came back to sit down. The little boy kind of fell into him, and she was questioning whether or not he actually fell.
Or if he was, like, trying to...
But then she told me a little boy across from him was kind of, like, keeping the other kids in check, was kind of, like, protecting him. Mm-hmm. It just made me... I had tears in my eyes when she was saying this, because it's your biggest fear when you have a kid who's got different issues, special needs, medical issues. You're just worried about being picked on. So I did mention it to the teachers, both his teachers, and they will keep an eye on it. And I was told that there is not enough room for all the boys at one table. So one boy typically has to sit with the girls. And I think what it was, again, is that Zachary didn't mind doing that for a while.
But now
he
starts
exactly. And it's tough, too, because Zachary's in a language-based classroom and only goes to his normal classroom for specials, which would be art, music, lunch, recess. So he's not creating those bonds with those kids. He's creating bonds with the other kids, which is fine. But he still has to deal with these kids in a regular setting.
And he had no idea that any of this happened because he wasn't there.
No, he didn't. And
which was the good part.
But I have had stories from him past week or so about the kids not being so nice with him wanting to sit at the table. So that was why I mentioned something.
Yeah, that was a good way to handle it.
To the teachers. So, and I had a good time at MA Sheep Wool. I tried the spinning wheel. Didn't like it.
It was a crummy spinning wheel.
It was a crummy. We had what's yours, a ladybug?
But the ladybug was like toe up, man. I had to fix it. It was broken when I started it.
And then there was a one treadle spinning wheel.
A Lendrum, an old beat up Lendrum.
But she also said, and this is where I'm having my problem, is that you need to work your feet and your hands together at the same time. I've never been good at that. When aerobics was going on, I would do aerobics and I would either be able to do my feet work or my leg work or my hands. I could never do two at the same time. I'm just not one of those people. So right now, I'm not worried about a spinning wheel, which I'm glad I tried. And I tried.
She did try.
I did try. It wasn't just like one little thing and then I was up. I sat there for a good 5 or 10 minutes and I just couldn't get the hang of it.
But it would be nice to have you try on a working wheel that's not all,
But, I mean, they make it look easy, and I'm not saying it's easy by any means, but the fact that you had to do this, and then you're pedaling with your foot, it was just too much. Now, I can knit and walk at the same time, so I know I can do it.
See, I think you could, but you have to be motivated, too.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, people have tried to spin on a horrible wheel or an old wheel, not necessarily a horrible wheel, but one that's not in good condition or not in full working condition, and they think, oh, I hate spinning. And then you actually try it on a wheel that works right, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
It's, it is what it is. So, but it was fun.
So,
we
that
had
was
fun with
that I found out. So, that's my crushes. Oh, one other thing. Blue Moon Fiber Arts. Everyone knows I love them. Well, I love them so much. A friend of mine asked me to help her out on her Blue Moon's Fiber Arts. She had an issue with, she did something wrong and she just didn't want to take the time to fix it, and I had no problem with it. She's afraid to rip the stitches out. I had to rip out 12 rows and then put them back on the needle, and she doesn't feel that she's got the confidence enough to do that. So I did that. It took me no time at all. Well, then she's doing the butterfly pattern.
Oh, yeah.
So then she had 6 rows. She had 2 rows done, one full repeat done, or 1/2 repeat done. And I ripped them out, and I'm like, well, keep knitting.
Started on it. Sorry, Tara.
I started it, so I did 1/2, one little row where you slip the stitch, just because it's pretty yarn. Look at this. This is the Blue Moon Medium. I told her I was going to show it off, even though it's not mine. And the Sea Stone. She got this from a Ravelry D-stash. And by the looks of it, the person who got it at the fold. Because I see this fold sticker there. But isn't that gorgeous? Nice blues.
It's very pretty.
Makes me excited that mine is on my way. My new mark.
Who knows what it's going to be? It's a surprise.
I know. A lot of people are guessing blue. After looking at this, I would have no problem with that. So it's all nice and squishy, and Tara, you're lucky I had to put it down because I had to go home from work because I would have continued knitting on it. Although I'm sure she would not have minded.
No, probably not. She's easygoing.
Yeah. That was my Blue Moon Fiber Arts crush. It also made me realize I need to cast on another sock with Blue Moon.
Oh, yeah.
I love me.
So we have a ton of baubles and bling. Are you done with your crushes and heartbreaks?
Yeah.
I'm cutting you off.
I know.
All right, baubles and bling. Yeah, we got a lot because we went to the festival this weekend.
We bought you stuff.
Yes, we did. Let's show what we bought at the podcast
yes.
first. So we used some of our podcast money to buy. Oh, and I have to pay myself back.
Would be good.
We bought Pounce Shawl Maki from Play It Life Fiber Arts. This is a shawl's worth of a gradient in the Loud and Proud colorway. It's the same as my feel how soft that is.
It's the same colorway as her socks, but it's
it's BFL, 100% BFL.
But it's shawl, so it's probably got 435 yards. That's a lot.
Yeah.
For a shawl, but it's probably got longer repeats.
Yeah, that's that. That's
She'll look pretty.
Really pretty. I loved her stuff. You should check out her store, Play It Life Fiber Arts on Etsy. She has a lot of really beautiful stuff that I would have bought.
Too.
Yeah, she did. And then I got this Boyfriend Blue Jeans colorway, Stardust Sparkle Sock Yarn, which is superwash merino with nylon and stellina.
Pretty.
435 yards. Look how sparkly. This was from Bittersweet Woolery.
And some really pretty colors.
Yeah, she had some really gorgeous stuff too.
She had a darker blue that was pretty, but we saw it the first time. I'm one of those that like
TARDIS.
Yeah, I was one of those that I like to walk through and then we'll go through again. And by the time we went there the second time, the TARDIS colorway was gone.
But this is just as nice.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, so these are 2 prizes that are now in the prize stash for the show. So you'll be seeing those for something soon. So those 2 things. And then I bought some flock sock yarn in the chocolate stout colorway because I am working on a colorwork mitten. Isn't that pretty? Which I'm going to use my pink yarn that I used on the Brachiosaurus. I have almost a whole skein of that left. So I'm going to use that with this to make a pair of mittens, colorwork mittens. Something that I've just been wanting to work out. So I brought that. This is the yarn that I am using for my Color Affection shawl in 3 other colorways that Melissa kind of dissed. I don't think she realized I was using it. So this. I like this. This is a nice smooth base.
Brown.
Yeah, this is a really pretty brown. I looked at a lot of different browns and I really like this one the best.
You like that yarn anyway.
So there's that. And then I got my Ivy Brambles Romantica in the Autumn Flame colorway. Look how pretty that is. It's really, it's redding out the camera. It's really, really red.
But
what?
That was too red. This more of a, right here is more of the color that it is.
Yeah, it's pretty. I thought I might have this colorway because I own a lot of this yarn, but I didn't. So
oh, good.
I was going to give it away as a prize if I ended up having it. But I do own it. So I bought that. Let's see. And Lois asked what a pound of fiber looks like. I had the best customer service. 2 pounds of fiber, sorry. I bought 2 pounds of fiber from Spinner's Hill. This is what it looks like. Let me take it out. I'll take some of it out.
Blue, green, turquoise.
Yes, it's got purples, blues, and it's just fluff. Her fiber prep is wonderful. Yeah, it's spinny, really spinny. And I didn't bring the slip with me because I sent it back to her. I have to tell you about the customer service. So I waited in line and I was talking with the lady and she got all my stuff weighed out for me. And then she said, you know, it's $80 for 2 pounds. And I said, here's my credit card. And she said, our credit card machine is down. And I said, oh no, so I can't get it? And she's like, do you have a checkbook? And I said, no, I don't have anything with me. She actually let me take this, gave me a receipt, and I paid her by check in the mail. And I sent it, if you're watching, Spinner's Hill lady.
Oh, yeah.
That was super awesome customer service because I could have been like some random person who steals her stuff. I mean, I gave her my business card and my phone number and everything so she could get me if she needed to find me. But so that was really wonderful because it was one of the only things that I knew for sure I was going to buy. I was like, I'm going to Spinner's Hill and I'm getting a sweater's worth. 2 pounds should be enough for me to spend worsted weight for a sweater. I'm thinking I'm going to do the pattern Skipper D, which somebody gifted to me for my birthday. I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head who that was now. It just went out of my mind. But so thank you, Spinner's Hill. And they're wonderful, but you can only get them at festivals. They don't do an online business. So, and at New Hampshire, they didn't have a lot of stuff left by the time that I went there. So I was like, Mass Sheep and Wool, I'm getting stuff. So that was really nice. I also got a bag from Jessalou. And I've talked about Jessalou bags before. I own several of them. I have a spindle bag that has this, and I have a spinning accessory bag that has this. I love this gnomes. And she does a really nice job. It's lined. Polka dot lining. And does not have nylon inside. That's a private joke. And it does not have a ribbon handle. I will point that out. So Jessalou, she's stitched by Jessalou. That's her little thing. She's Jessalou on Etsy. And check her out. All of her stuff comes with a little bee on the zipper.
A little bee vibe.
And she's also really nice. We talked to her
Yes.
for a while. She's great to deal with.
She's like a very nice person.
Yes. So these are my 3 go-to bands of go-to brands of bags. Jessalou for the box bags, Diana Couture for the yarn owls and the things where the feet out, and Knitting's my bag for the drawstring project bags. Those are the 3 bags that I have. That's like 90% of my bags are from those 3 vendors. So I also ran into Kelly, who is a friend from my spinning guild and also one of the owners of FBN Plastics, proud purveyors of spinning wheel cup accessories, cup holder accessories. She has a new thing out called the Spinner's Party Tool. Yes, it has a bottle opener so you can open a beer, and also a wraps per inch and a twist. Tells you how much twist you have, twist per inch. Hang that on there. I ran into her. I told her I saw it on the Knit Girls, and she gave me one because she's cool. So yeah, FBN Plastics, also on Etsy. Check them out. And the last thing, Soft Kitty came! Soft Kitty! From Fiber Nymph in the Bedazzled colorway. 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, 438 yards.
It's pretty.
It's gorgeous. I'm never going to knit with it because I just wanted it because it's Soft Kitty. But I love it. It is self-striping.
I don't do that.
Lois from Knitting's My Bag gave me her custom order spot so I could get this because I tried to order it. Sheila and I were like double teaming the computer.
I don't know how we missed that.
It was gone in a second.
We blinked and it was gone.
Thank you, Lisa. This is lovely. And that's all of my bubbles and bling,
Okay.
I believe.
I'm going to start off with what everybody's probably waiting for. I got my I Love Fred yarn and apparently lost the tag that went with it, if there was one. It's from Cannon Hand Dyed, the Amy Lee Show. Self-striping. It's in the Jane MCN base, 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. I have to honestly say this does not feel like cashmere to me.
It's not as soft as cashmere that
I have an 80-10-10 here that I bought, and I showed this a while ago. This is a worsted weight that I bought from the spa.
It's not quite as soft, but MCN bases can vary.
You can kind of see the twists are a little different as well, which I'm sure is what it is. But I'm excited to do this because it is self-striping. And maybe I'll cast on this.
Oh, yours is paler pink than mine.
Isn't it?
Yeah, my pink was much pinker.
Much hotter, right?
My pink was more like this pink.
Yeah.
My pink was much more dark.
So this one actually looked like it might have a little bit more.
I hope that everyone out there
too.
is getting their Amy Lee show yarns.
If not, you should definitely PM the other Amy Lee.
To make sure that she knows that you're still missing it because, it's been a long process for her. And
so I got it the other day. I was very excited. I don't know. I don't know if I'll cast on it right away or let it marinate for a while. Because I am kind of in the mood for casting on some Blue Moon. So, at the MA Sheep Wool Festival, I tried to buy. I really did. And I was there specifically also for one other reason. And I kept looking at the pretty yarns, and I kept saying, I have pretty yarns in my stash. I have pretty yarns in my stash. This, however, I did not have in my stash.
She's been wanting this since before Rhinebeck, since MA Sheep and Wool last year, I think.
I had been looking at it, yes. Our friend Diane and Oz, had done mittens out of silk hankies. You've seen them. Yarn Harlot has done it. Karen from Round the Twist has done it. So we were at that store that you bought the yarn.
Bittersweet, yeah.
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
No. The place where you bought the rainbow yarn.
Oh, Play It Life Fiber Arts.
Play It Life Fiber. They had silk hankies, but I was just not willing to commit that much money per hanky.
Yeah.
So we went to Bittersweet, and I saw some silk hankies, and they had $10 per square of hanky. And that, I felt, was more reasonable than what I was seeing elsewhere. For someone who wants to just try it for the first time.
Yeah, doesn't know if they're going to like it or not.
So I pulled them all out to find as much. She actually dyes them to coordinate too for this purpose. So I did. I found them. I'm going to need 2 for a pair of mittens. And I actually pulled a strand off while we were in the car coming home because I was excited to try it. And
she did a little swatch.
I did a little swatch, teeny swatch. I like the colors. So this is the silk swatch. I think I did it on size 4.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it will fit for mittens. The one thing is there is no stretch to this. It's silk, but let me tell you, it's going to be strong, and I know silk is warm.
It's going to be really warm. Oh, that just gives me a chill right up my spine.
So the reason I was curious to start it is because, it's basically, you're kind of spinning in a little bit of a way. And so I had to try. Let me see if I can take one off. I'm not sure where I am. So you take, here it is. You take, this is what I'm taking off. You've seen this on Round the Twist. But you take off one hanky?
Level.
Layer? I don't know.
Oh, just the sound of it is just making me freak out.
So here's what it looks like. And it's gauzy glory. You find the center. And you pull. And you pull until the thickness roughly you want. And then you just pull it off.
Yeah. And then you knit with it.
And
you try not to scream in horror.
I won't scream in horror because I've already knit with it. I had to try it. I would have hated to have spent that money.
And then realize that it made you scream in horror. I can't even touch them.
It doesn't make me scream in horror.
The sound of that pulling apart is just really bothering me. Don't knit with that around me.
So this is what I just wound up. Of course, now I can feel it on my arm. But, so I was excited about this. I showed it to my husband, and my husband's like, yeah, all right, whatever.
So that's cool.
My kids, I think, will get a kick out of it.
Yeah, so that's kind of neat.
That was my one and only purchase at MA Sheep Wool, and that was Bittersweet Woolery Silk Mawata. 1 ounce each bundle. It doesn't have a color name. But it's blues and whites, and when I knit the swatch up, which is now disappeared somewhere, probably in here, I like the colors, so it will look really pretty.
Yeah, it will be nice.
And I have some other baubles and bling. I did not purchase this. Our friend Tara has her husband's grandmother over from Italy, and she brought her some wool. And she brought a lot of wool, and she didn't know what to do with it, so she gave it to me. I'll be more than happy to take it. It's some older wool. She didn't like it because it was scratchy, and it is.
It's Edelweiss wool. It's probably Swiss wool.
And so she gave me a bunch of this, and I'll use it for slippers or feltable wool. Just, I know, it's my needles.
I'm like, what is that? No, I thought it was somebody's bicycle bell.
No, it's my size 15 straights that I don't really use.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably good to put my hair if I want. Weapons. I tried to do those, I just couldn't use them. So this is some other baubles and bling that I will maybe use for a sweater. Not a sweater, sorry. I'm sorry. Slippers.
Yeah, you could.
On my size 15 needles.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's all my baubles and bling.
And I think we showed all that. And then the last thing is, like I said, I'm going to post pictures of the MA Sheep Wool with this post. So below, so you can see I took pictures of some of the vendors and some of the stuff that we did. And then we just want to talk about, with the Amy Lee Show yarn, and we talked about how communication between Etsy vendors, it's really important for Etsy vendors to stay, because we know people are running these crafts out of their homes. And it's not like they have a big corporation behind them with staff and people to deal with their things. Life happens. The most important thing is for Etsy vendors to communicate to their customers so that your customer feels like you still care about them and that their money isn't gone into some black hole void. So we had talked about that, and then we were talking about on the opposite side of that, when you have vendor, like the seller's etiquette toward the customer's etiquette towards the vendor. It occurred to me because we have our friend Lois, who's knitting's my bag, has been working like a dog for the last few weeks, getting ready for an update that's coming up. I think it's going to go live tomorrow, but
there's a bag that I want.
Preview. I haven't seen the preview yet. The preview is up, and she works really hard, and I started, and we met other vendors like Jessa Lou and Diana Couture had, she had a death in her family, and she had a hard time, and I think it's really hard sometimes because we live in this internet world where you can order anything that you want online.
24/7.
Ordering from the Woolery on Memorial Day because I wanted my thing. And we don't realize that even though the shop is open 24/7, the people that run the shop do not work 24/7. In fact, they are often working out of their homes where they might have another job or children to take care of, or their household chores to take care of, or they just want to, watch TV or sleep or eat.
No, why should they do that?
So, I think that everyone, realize when you're dealing, especially with an Etsy craft person who is an independent craftsperson like us with the cottage industry at home, they might not be available to you on Sunday night if you have an emergency, or don't expect, I guess I'm just saying we shouldn't expect them to immediately respond to us if we have a question, especially if you do it on a weekend or in the middle of the night, like 3 in the morning. I don't know. I mean, realize that they need to have a chance to
download,
to
relax,
to relax, and that their business is online 24/7, but they don't work 24/7.
Right.
And I think about Lisa too from Fiber Nymph Dye Works, and she had to tell people to buy a custom order slot because it was taking over.
Yeah.
And she's just one person.
Right.
She's not like Cascade Yarn or Blue Moon that has staff.
Yeah. So I mean, even though they're open 24/7, their hours, they try and probably keep them as normal to an 8 to 5 type of day, so that it doesn't run their life.
Well, yeah, I think it could.
I think speaking up for them, they just probably want a little bit of respect in that.
Yeah.
That know that if you PM them and you get a response, that it may not mean that they're going to jump right and do what you want right now.
Yeah, and that, and that they're allowed to do that. And I used to run an Etsy shop, and let me tell you, it's work.
Yeah.
You have to constantly update your stock in your store. You have to make sure that orders go out in a timely fashion. And you get custom requests that you have to do special stuff for, and it is work. It's like having a job in an office, only you're doing it in your home. And there's a danger when you work in your home of letting it take over, because then there's no division between home life and work life. Right. So I just really wanted to say, in light of all the independent people that we love on this show, keep it in mind.
I'm happy to get when I do a convo on Etsy, I'm excited to get a response the day after.
Yeah.
To me, that's within 24 hours, I think, is more than enough.
Unless it's a weekend, in which case I'm excited to get it on Monday.
but right. And dealing with the phone industry that I deal with, people are expecting the doctors to be available 24/7. There is a doctor that's usually available. It may not be their doctor. So I understand it in all aspects, that you just need to,
have realistic expectations.
We're not the instant satisfaction or instant gratification society.
Yeah, I think with the internet, it's so easy to be because some places like ThinkGeek, they do have people working 24/7 for all I know.
But that's a corporation.
But that's
it's not
it's not a cottage industry crafter who's crafting out of their home. So I just wanted to say that, and to say thank you to the people like Lois and Jessa Lou and Diana Couture and Lisa Beamer who are out there,
Thank you, everyone.
Doing your business for us, and
just everybody think about that when you purchase something.
Yeah. And yay, independent crafters.
Yes. I just want to go real quick. We met Bryn, a friend of Melissa's. They are doing the 3-day walk for the Susan G. Komen.
Right.
And I wanted to shout out to her that Melissa has met her goal. Bryn, however, has not. So if somebody would like to help her out, it's Knitters for Knockers on the 3-day Komen. I'm not sure the exact link. I can get that. But she also has an Etsy shop that any of the stuff that you buy from her is going to her portion of the 3-day walk that she's got to raise. She's at 67%.
So she's almost there.
She's almost there. So her Etsy store is knittersforknockers.etsy.com, I believe. She sells some really pretty Tree of Life pendants, t-shirt necklace, which she was wearing the day that she was there, and she actually brought one for Jessa Lou. And then the nest pendant, which is really cute. It's got like 3 little eggs. I'm wondering if you could customize that based on how many kids you have.
Yeah, I know.
Or the amount of family. So go check her out. It's knittersforknockers.etsy.com. I'll put a link, and it's Bryn, who is Turtle1281 on Ravelry and Novice Knits on Clark.
Cool.
Just wanted to shout out there for Bryn on that. And on that note, I think we're done.
We've gone way over.
Yeah, well, no, we got a minute and a half. But anyways, if you're watching us on iTunes, check out the blog for contact information above my head, knit1heart2.blogspot.com. Ravelry.
You want to join the group?
Is that way.
And so is the Cafe Press. Somebody actually asked me about our Cafe Press shop. We do have one. It's over there. Any money that we make from the Cafe Press store goes right back into the blog.
Yeah, usually for shipping. Or for yarn.
For yarn, like we bought this yarn.
And for some other ideas in the future. So on that note, have a nice week. Knit with Heart.
Knit with Heart. Bye.